People are talking about the attention economy. I just want to say that I don't necessarily think the attention economy exists. I think we're more in the sense of a dopamine economy. Like, because everybody's dopamine kind of like receptors are all messed up, and everybody's dopamine receptors are kind of not at baseline anymore. Essentially, what I'm saying is like people with social media and with like these addictions to prawn and all these different things, your dopamine receptors are messed up from what they are baseline. So it's kind of like, think of it this way: it's like you eat an apple or play a video game or get an achievement, your dopamine goes up. But because people's dopamine receptors are all messed up, it doesn't stay at a peak for too long. It comes down quickly. It comes down quickly. Next thing you know, boom, you gotta hit another piece of dopamine. So that's why people have a lot of like ADHD and a lot of different types of like addictions and stuff. But essentially what I'm trying to get is like when you're making your art or when you're making things to appeal to a mass audience, you have to understand the appeal of dopamine. You have to understand how dopamine is being viewed on the viewer. Like when you're putting advertisements or money behind ads on your products or on your art pieces and stuff, it's about when you're putting on someone else's platform and you're advertising someone else's platform, they have a quality control even on their ads and all these different platforms, because they're looking to see if like, is this going to be a quality piece of content that's going to resonate with the users on my platform, even if it's an ad. So then there's a check mark. It's like, oh, is this a quality ad or a low quality ad? Based on the dopamine, based on how people are interacting with this ad. That's like, it's all about dopamine. It's all about being able to capture people's attention. We're in such a short attention span, and in a time of like people aren't able to listen, you need to be able to capture people's dopamine. And I know sometimes that might mean making things a little bit ADHD, and I get that. But for the sake of being able to actually appeal to mass market, that's what it's going to. Shorter form things that are just quick dopamine. So if you can find some way to incorporate your art with this sort of short attention span dopamine thing, I think you're gonna be surprised to see the kind of things that you're able to actually get back. Like, I guess the ROI that you're gonna make back on some of these things. Because I'm speaking personally from my own experience of like, I didn't like TikTok. I hate TikTok. I still to this day don't have it like TikTok. I've tried it a couple times. Don't get me wrong. I've tried it a couple times, tried it a few times, but it just never seemed to click. So I'm just saying to say that like it wasn't for me, but Reels and Instagram Shorts or YouTube Shorts, those were able to be something that I was able to actually finesse, because I was like, well, I'm already using YouTube and I'm already using Instagram as like a main platform of mine. So why not just use their platform? Because they're imitating TikTok anyway. So they want to get rid of TikTok and they're not able to compete with TikTok. It's all about advertising dollars. And so TikTok might be out of here based on the fact that Instagram and all these other platforms can't compete with TikTok. So yeah, so I just figured, I'm gonna stay on YouTube and I'm gonna stay on Instagram, because these are two of the major platforms, and just share the short form content there. And it's actually been really receptive. It was more receptive than I could have thought. And also just the amount of traction and organic views that I was able to bring my channel was actually really impressive. So that is all to say. Dopamine. You need to understand the modern day consumer. You need to understand the market. You can't just make things for you to like. For a big portion of my life, that was something that I was always like, no, I have to like it. I have to enjoy it. I make things for me. Great. If you want to make things for you and not make money, then do it that way. If you want to make things that have to appeal to the mass market, you have to do things that are outside of your own comfort zone. And for me, it's been a major learning experience, especially with Twitter advertising. Unfortunately, I was using Instagram ads, but for some reason, somehow, some way, I got banned. And with Instagram, there's no way to unban yourself, so I can't market on Instagram's platform. So I was like, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm going to market on Twitter's platform. The reason why I really like using Twitter's platform is because ever since they introduced Twitter Blue, the Twitter Blue platform, I'm able to have the verified checkmark. And the verified checkmark, especially when you're doing an online service or something especially based with 3D animation, the thing I've been really found that it's been really irritating with 3D animation is like people always talking about getting scammed and this, that, and the fourth. So I figured, you know what? I'm going to look at this like a blessing in disguise. Without using Instagram, whatever, I can't use that platform. I'm going to use Twitter, and I'm going to have the blue check mark, and I'm also going to be able to put advertising money behind my ads. And so now I'm going through the whole process of learning how to use Twitter ads and how to monetize that and how to get an ROI from that to get people to come in, inquire about animations, inquire about different services that we have, and get more use out of our services and products. So it's been a whole learning experience. It's been a whole process of just understanding this, because especially from being an artist to this, it's like they're two separate worlds. Oh, you have to understand about different colors, paints, textures, canvases, different materials, drying, oxys, this, that, little resins, this, that, and the third, Photoshop, pixels, DPI, dots per inch. There's all these different knowledge bases on the artistic side. And then there's an entire different knowledge base on the business side. And then you have to be able to merge those two. And then once you're able to merge those two, then you have to make it appeal to the market. You know, it's crazy, man. There's so many steps to this recipe and it's never ending. Every day you gotta wake up and do some other thing, this, that, you know? It's crazy, but once you really get into the process and you fall in love with the process, you will be able to see, it's just like compounding returns. It's just gonna compound over and over and over again. I've been doing this for like over 13 years, and it's just every time I keep trying to step up and keep trying to improve, I keep seeing compounding effects and different things. I'm not able to limit myself. I can't limit myself. Every time I try to limit myself and take days off or I do nothing and the itch comes back and my problem solving brain goes off, and then next thing I know, boom, I'm able to solve another problem. You see what I'm saying? So like that's how you have to approach this. You have to be able to tinker and keep tinkering with your art until you find that the right pocket of people that when you deploy this on it, boom, those people are buying, those people are copying it, those people they're wearing your stuff, they're tagging you on social media. Like this is the kind of returns that you want. And I've been able to see all these things happening in real time, and it's very fascinating, it's very exciting, and it's something that in all my years of making art, I never thought I would have this much control over it. But based on the way technology and everything was moving anyway, it was gonna get to this point of like the user putting up things, and there's just no more middleman. And it's just, you have so much control, you get to see your stats in real time. It's like I'm saying, dopamine. Learn to capture people's dopamine, learn to understand what triggers people, learn to understand, it triggers them in a good way. Learn to understand what gets them going, excited, however you want to play it. Use controversy, use humor, use this, that, and the third. Whatever your gimmick is, use your gimmick to capture as much dopamine as possible. Then once you have that dopamine, then you monetize it, dude. You monetize that dopamine. All right, so that's this video. That's all I wanted to say today, was just being able to leverage your artistic ability and your dopamine. All right, so I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'm out.